you to the first in a series of interviews with Laura Lee Mystica, co-author of her recent book, Cryogenetics 2, the sequel, Covert, Secret, and Alchemy. But before we talk about horrendous obstacles that preceded this interview and what we can do about them and to empower ourselves, let me first ask you, Laura Lee, to say a few words about what the quack does the word cryogenetics mean anyway? And who is your mysterious co-author, Hal?
Who is?
Here she is, directly from her chicken farm amidst an enchanted cedar forest, multi-dimensional multitasker, Laura Lee Mystica.
Oh, well, you know, me and Hal go a long way back. You know, we're buddies. I met Hal back in the 90s, and I didn't know who he was. I had just left organized religion, and I was trying to figure out what was going on, and I didn't know who to talk to, or, you know, I just wiped the slates clean, and finally I said, okay, I need to talk to somebody that really knows what the heck's going on here, and I need some guidance. And so I got this channeled message, and and at the very end, you know, it was just, you know, kind of an introduction. And at the very end, I said, and who are you? And I was waiting for some wonderful, you know, I am master blah, 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 blah. And he said, my name's Hal. I'm like, Hal? Your name is Hal? Everybody else gets these amazing ascended masters and all of these, you know, exotic names, and I get Hal. And so, and then he started telling me jokes, and I'm like, what kind of an ascended master tells you jokes? And now I know a real one will do that to you. So that's kind of the beginning, and he has really been there. And then when you read the book, I'm not going to do a spoiler alert or anything, but you find out who he really is. And when I found out who he was, I laughed my tail off. But I'm not going to do a spoiler alert. You'll have to read the book to find out who Hal really is. And you'll just go, oh my gosh. Well, of course. So anyway, that's my introduction to the other co-author of Cryogenetics 2.
Okay. Boy, he sure kept the secret from you long enough.
I know, like 20 years.
Oh, what the hell?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and that crazy word?
Crazy.
Cryogenetics?
Oh, yes. Hold on. Yep. And, you know, Hal told it to me. It came in like bits and pieces, but I just kind of had to put it together. But cryogenetics it has like two main elements. It's got, cryo literally means the encompassment and direction of magnetic fields through tone and sound, light and color, geometry, math, and love and compassion. And if you take that element and interlace it and interface it with genetics, or the information and life force encoded and printed in the blood, you get cryogenetics. So with this science, if you understand it, you can change your avatar. You can change anything in your avatar. And I've seen some amazing things happen through cryogenetics that does change people's avatars. And I've seen it change my chickens' avatars when I've used some of these principles on them. I had one chicken that last year I thought she was about to die, and I put her on some new supplements and did some work with one of my helpers on the other side that helped me clean her up and take out some of this horrible stuff that was on her. And she's like another bird. She's 11 years old, and she's started laying eggs again. So if my chicken can do that, I'm thinking we can do that. Now, there is one thing that I wanted to...
Well, I don't know if I want to lay eggs.
You don't have to.
Oh.
But if an old chicken can start perking up and laying eggs...
I think Hal is definitely here with the humor.
Yes, I do too. Yeah, he's saying, "No, don't you go laying eggs, girl." One of the things that kind of confused me was where the element of smell came in. And I thought, I know it's in here somewhere. How does that work? Because like, I smell is really important, and it's important to me. And, things like with essential oils and how the smell can, change your whole matrix and your nervous system. I thought, now dang it, was I missing something here, Hal? And he said that if you put all of these together, light and sound and geometry, math and love and compassion, it can emanate an essence. And you know how sometimes when there's something really, it's like if you feel these feelings of love and stuff, and sometimes you can smell roses and things that are really like high frequency. It's these frequencies and the magnet. It's all of cryogenetics together that can create smell. And when you think about it too, you know how like nasty, evil entities, you walk in a room and you can smell them. It's like the vibration that they put off has an essence that you can smell that rings into your olfactory nerves, and so that was something that had been bothering me. And then Hal tried to explain it to me. He says, "No, don't worry, it's all in there. Smell is in there." And then when he explained it, it made it more logical to me, because I've smelled enough. I mean, I smell stuff that is not around. I this is something that happened just recently. My chicken coops, I'd go into different places. One was in the duck house, one was in the big girl's coop, and I could smell ginger. I'm like, where's that coming from? I'm smelling my clothes and seeing if I had something on me that smelled like ginger, and I don't know. It wasn't. There was something gingery out there, and I haven't smelled it for about 3 days. And I'm wearing the same jacket, and I'm wearing the same clothes. So if it was on my clothes, I would think it would still be there. And I smelled my clothes upside one down the other, and checked my pockets to see if there was anything in there, because I do have a chicken spray to spray their coops that has essential oils, but there was nothing in those oils that remotely smelled like ginger. So this is just something for people to be aware of, that the essences and smells are a part of cryogenetics. So I think that's really important that you brought this up, because I've been wanting to talk about that, because I just learned about it, I don't know, a couple months ago. It was after the book came out, of course, right?
Well, that's something for Cryogenetics 3.
That's right. How to smell cryogenetics. No, that's good. So thanks for bringing that one up.
Okay. Well, I haven't said yet that I was one of the editors of the book, but I can tell you that the book was published in, was it July, Laura?
Yes, yes, the physical book was published in July, but we had the the ebook out at the end of last year. And then we added the other chapters, and then the physical book was put out at the end of July.
Right. So people might be wondering, well, we tried very hard to do interviews, and we just couldn't do it until now. So maybe you'd like to talk about those obstacles that were almost uncanny or horrendous.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the formats like Zoom and Skype and Facebook, they all got really garbled. The video and the audio, and when I would even do clients, it would get bad. And so finally I had to turn off the the video, and then it was a little bit better. It's still wonky, but not as bad as it used to be. And sometimes I have to skip from one to another. So it's like playing tag. So I'm not doing the same format each time. But it was getting really bad. And I thought, I can't do an interview that I'm going to, put on my YouTube channel. I've got to find some other modality. And then I did, right after the book came out, I did an interview with Spiritually Raw. And we did a test, and it looked like, and I got a new computer. I got a laptop specifically so I could start doing these shows. And we did we thought we had all our duckies in a row. We did some tests, and it seemed great. Well, then during the show, and we just started getting into some really interesting topics, and then I heard the host say, "We're going to have to terminate this. We just can't understand you." And I'm like, "Oh, let's see. We're like 10 minutes into the interview." And it got too bad, and then there was not even enough of the interview that they could even do a clip. She just said, "No, we just trashed it." So after that, we're like, okay, back to the drawing board. What the heck happened? Is it something with my internet connection? So I had some the gal that is helping me with the website. She was here helping me at that time to be able to get the book out and get all the formatting and everything together. And so I went out by my cabin where there's plenty of space to have my cell phone, some decent coverage. And so she was kind of helping me with that, and we're trying to figure out what we could do as an alternative. And so we thought we kind of had it figured out. And so I thought, okay, I will contact Nancy and on my cell phone, and we'll do a test, to see if she can see me and if I can see her and if she can hear me. So we decided to do a test on my cell phone. I think it was, I don't know if it was Skype or Zoom that we tried. And it was okay. Nancy, do you want to say what happened on your end? Because I'm not quite sure. I just know it started getting garbled. What did you experience with that?
Well, I could see you, and but mostly it was I could feel the frustration. It was like, as you say, something ain't right.
Exactly.
As my son would say, it was cattywampus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And as the person who was helping you is an expert in this, doing this, I asked her later, what did it feel like? And she said discombobulated. So you've got, I don't know what else to say, but it, after the interview was over or ending, for some reason, and I don't know why, I decided to take a picture of the screen, my computer screen. And then, well, anyway, let me take a step back. most of it was just feelings. The other was an ambiguous feeling, which means that things were equal in my mind. And one was, hey, this is normal. Weird shit with WS, with Laura Lee, that's normal. That's, par for the course. But then there was another part of me that said this was really, really, really weird.
Right.
But then I took a picture, and by this time our conversation was over, and I saw a Djinn standing directly behind Laura Lee, behind her left side, with shining eyes, and he had this. Well, I was going to say I wasn't going to swear on this picture, but he definitely had a shit-eating grin on his face, like he had everything, and he was so pleased with himself. And I got a hold of Laura Lee and showed her the picture. It was, Laura Lee has the picture. Are you going to show it?
Yes, I'll put that on the screen when I make this.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's my part of it.
Well, and when you after we got off after you told me about it later, and I looked at it, it was almost like I couldn't see it. I'm like, oh, that's just the leaves in the cedar trees behind me. It's it's nothing. And then I saw it, and I'm like, holy crap. That that ain't right. What?
I saw him right away.
And you did. And so I thought, okay, I need to find out what this thing is. And that's when we started getting. That's when the Djinn got on our radar again. I mean, we've had the Djinn. They're conjurers. They're magicians. They're and most of them weren't very nice. And so, but we do have, we can do a whole Djinn show, I think. But we do have some that are on our side, and some that we're being forced to do evil deeds for other people. But one thing that I found out that I did not know is that I asked this Djinn, I says, so who do you work for? And he says, I don't work for anybody. Are you kidding? I don't work for anybody. And I said, so, do you have a network? He says, no, I don't work for anybody. I don't have a network. But then it's almost like he couldn't help himself. And he said, what we have is deal works. It's like, we don't do anything without making a deal. It's like, okay, I'll give you this if you give me that. And, if you want more of this, then the price goes up. It's just like our deep state officials. It's like everything they do is a deal, and these Djinn are just like that. And so I got a lot.
His deal was you, that you were the prize.
Yeah, he kind of thought he.
That he needed to think again.
Yeah. Well, he got surprised because he doesn't exist anymore. So, and a lot of his, even though he doesn't have a network, a lot of the people or the things that he worked with, they're not around either. So, yeah, it was an education for us, and an education for all the evil Djinn in the hologram. It's like, we're not putting up with this stuff, and if you're a Djinn out there and you're forcing somebody to do evil things for you, we don't take kindly to that. So, yeah, and I'll probably get smacked for that, but I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
So then there was that. So then finally, I thought, okay, and just like a few weeks, I'd been looking for one of these, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get a recorder to put on my landline so that we can do these, because we just got to start doing these shows. And so I finally got the recorder for my landline, and it was like really kind of complicated to hook it up. And I finally got it hooked up, and it started working a little bit. But the buttons, I'd push on a button, and sometimes it'd work, and sometimes it wouldn't. And so it was just kind of hit and miss. But at least it was kind of working. I thought, okay, we'll just try this. Well, then the next day, the day that we were supposed to do a show, I picked it up, and when you turn it on, it just turned on, but it was blank, and you press on the buttons and nothing happened. I'm like, okay. So I packed it up, and it's sitting there. I wrote to him and said, okay, I'm sending this back. It doesn't work. So then we thought, okay, there's got to be another way to do this. And so I put my phone on my speaker on my laptop, and we were going to do one yesterday, and then my power went out in my house. We're on solar, and there was something wrong with the solar system, and the entire house was out of power, and it took us like a day to get that back on. So, because we're such tenacious little things, I thought, okay, we're going to do it. And guess what? Here we are. This is like, I don't know, almost a year in trying to do some of these shows. And here we are. This is the first one. So, woohoo, time to celebrate, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, well, let's see, we have some other things we want to talk about. Outwitting the Dark Lords, and maybe some of our new allies that we have. You already mentioned we have a few Djinns that turned good. Instead of biting the dust, they went good.
That's right. That's right. And I think they were good in the first place. They just they were just being forced. They had some kind of manipulation on them, and they were being forced. So I have compassion for them, because I know a lot of people on our team were forced to do horrible, terrible things. So, we can't blame them for something that they didn't do. So yeah, and I think.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What I'm trying to do.
The Djinn in the dust, so to speak. I just had a thought. Are we on their radar, or is it? Since they say that it's one unnamed one. I don't. Oh, by the way, he wasn't want to talk about his threat level. He's a 8.6 or something.
Yeah, I think he was. I can't remember. I've taken so many of them out. I can't remember exactly what threat level he was, but I think that's correct.
Right. Well, I was thinking, he said I don't work for anybody, so I'm thinking maybe he's independent and others don't know that he's been taken out. Because I'm just thinking maybe we're on their radar. We should really stay on our toes with them, because as far as I know, they're only about 40% gone. You estimated there were about 50, and there are about 19 that are gone, with 2 of them becoming allies.
Right.
But the other big thing, I think the obstacle as a group were the Tethers. Would you like to talk about the Tethers? I was reminded because one of the Tethers became good. The Tree of Death became the Tether Tree, and there's so many more. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I just have to tell you something weird that's happening. Okay, no, it's gone away. My computer's doing weird things. It's like weird symbols are coming on the computer, and I was, never mind. Okay, that happens. I've had my.
Know what we mean about weird shit is normal.
Yeah, it's on our talking point list, and all of a sudden there's these circles all over, and I'm like, no, that wasn't there when I made it. Where did that circle come from? Okay, so let me just check on the tether thing. Hold on a second. The tethers came on my radar about, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, no, maybe 5 months ago. I don't know. It's been longer than what I thought. And apparently, one of the methods that the Dark Lords use to keep us down is to tether us to different things or people. And when I started doing this, I thought, okay, what am I tethered to? Like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or, oh no, it was way more than that. And so I, it was such an education to find out these weird things that I was tethered to that are holding me back. And the tethers, you think about like a tether ball, that it's stuck there and it can't get off, or a tether on a dog leash is kind of a tether, and that's what they are. Some of mine were magnetic. Hold on, let me look at my notes here on my tethers and see what some of them are. Oh, one of them, I was tethered to like all these major hospitals in the U.S., like an ankle bracelet, and like I hate hospitals. I mean, they're like some of the creepy. Do you know that hospitals are more haunted than the graveyards? Did you know that?
I think I did, or either that or it just seems.
It seems logical, right? Right. And I got tethered to these hospitals when I broke my ankle, like 6 years ago, and it was trying to make me help the untouchables and their evil crimes, and so it was using a key that I had that was it's hard to even explain, but there was a lot of cloaking that was going on, and there was like it was just really ugly. Anyway, I got that figured out. I got a lot of helpers and allies, and I'm no longer tethered to these hospitals. And since then, I have been able to sleep a lot better. I just realized that now as I'm talking about it. And what we could maybe do is do an entire show on tethers.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
I think we need to, because I had, I think, what did I have, like 70 or something, and I've got like 40 or 30. Let me see how many I've gotten done. My last one was 26. I got 26, and I think there was 60 or 70. I can't remember how many I said I had. So I've got to go back and I was doing one a night, and then I got cut off into some other projects that I needed to get done, and I'm taking some other Dark Lords, out of the hologram. So I need to get back doing those like every night again. And, I'm telling you, yeah, I really sleep a lot better. So we'll do an entire show about that when I've got all my notes together.
One for the Djinn and one for the Tethers. I brought those up because those are the biggest groups, but there are so many things that you have done, much greater than even those two groups entirely, the Dark Lords. And you want to talk about that now a little bit?
About the Dark Lords? They're evil.
Yeah. They're dark, right?
They're dark and they're evil, and we don't need them. One thing that really hit me like a ton of bricks is that meme that we have when, everybody says, oh, we need good and evil to have balance. And that always really bugged me. It's like, why do we need evil to have balance? And and you hear that in a lot of Zen and New Age groups, and it's like, yeah, we have to have the balance of good and evil, and the evil people are they're wearing the black hats so that we can learn and grow and blah 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 blah.
All right, so we can see our light.
Yes.
Our dark.
Yes.
Yeah,
and guess who's telling us that stuff? It's not exactly. So we'll just sit there and not do anything. So we'll sit there on our hands and go, okay, well, we need it. So when how
good we are to you, how important.
Yeah, see how important.
We let you guys be the good ones, and we're dark, and we should be praised for that.
Because we don't want to be dark. We're just doing it to help you.
Yeah, we're sacrificing for you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's still not true, because when the bottom line is the true balance is the absence of evil. We cannot get back into true balance without wiping out evil. We don't need it. I don't care how many gurus tell you, yeah, we have to have evil. Well, if you want to have evil, you go hang out with the evil ones, but we don't need it. We don't. None of it. And it's funny, because that's what the D-Monster said to me at one time. Oh, don't hurt me. You need me. I'm helping you. I'm helping you understand all of these things that you wouldn't have known before. Don't hurt me. It's like, no, you're going down. You're going to be extinguished. I'm not putting up with that. And so really, I hope people, when they read that part of the book, will sit and look at it and go, yeah, who does it serve to believe that we need good and evil? Now, balance is light and dark, meaning day and night, not evil dark, and sweet and sour, and happy and sad. It's okay to be sad. If somebody that you really love has to move away, you can be sad, but we don't need evil. And this people need to really look at this, because we've been duped on this big time. And I think it's something that's that can totally change your life. Because if you're always sitting there letting the Dark Lords beat you up because you think you need evil, then we're screwed here. Might as well, throw in the towel now, because, they've won. So I think that is a major, major key in cryogenetics too. And hopefully enough people will read that they'll be able to start making the change and go, no, we don't need that. Let's do it the way it was originally designed. This hologram was not originally designed with evil in it. Okay, I'm telling you that right now. It wasn't. So evil was implanted here by the D monster, and if we want to get it back to its pristine state, we've got to get rid of all of the evil codes. So that was a major, major eye opener, I think, and a key in cryogenetics too.
Yeah, that's an amazing disclosure, because it was so well hidden in other relative things of this world, black opposites, black and white, up and down, and it's propaganda of duality that they just slipped in with all the rest.
Exactly.
But you were able to pull that out and bust it.
Yeah, and what I'm saying to you, evil, is busted. You've been busted. Everybody knows now. We don't need you.
That's right.
So,
right.
So let's see. There was one thing I wanted to talk about was the things that are messing with us right now, with all of the crazy going on. Is, and this kind of goes along with the evil, we don't need evil. It's like, one of the things that we need to do right now is to outwit the Dark Lords. It's like, they're the deep state and the Dark Lords, they are schmoozing up one side and down the other. So when we see them schmoozing, we need to outwit that. One thing that came across our radar was emojis, and that there a lot of the original, like the smiley face and the frowny face, which I use a lot, and the winky face, they all have dark sigils, excuse me, I said that wrong, embedded in them, and it's like that's where they came from. And so instead of going, I guess I can't use those anymore, what we say is, okay, gotcha, that's what you're doing, that's how you're trying to mess with us, by spreading like these evil crappy things every time we put a smiley face on something. No, we're not putting up with that. What we're going to do is flip the table on you. We're going to egg them, and we're going to turn them into truth and justice emojis. And so that's what we did in our HRT hologram rescue team group, is start the wave going the other way. And every time we make one, we consciously put truth and justice in that emoji, so wherever it's going, and whoever is the originator of those gets truth and justice on them. So
this is something that is like just from yesterday, right?
Yeah, this was like 2 days ago or something. This is like kind of brand new on our radar.
So maybe these round emojis are going to become egg-shaped?
Maybe. Well, no, things are really changing if the round emojis turn into eggs. Oh, you're so funny. So anyway, everybody just, kind of be aware of that and use your own magic. And it's like, okay, we're going to flip the table on you, Dark Lords. We're not going to be your, I have to say this. There's a meme in cryogenetics too. And it says, and it's got a picture of a giraffe up in a tree, and he's just clinging to it. And you can tell he's scared. And this is what Hal told me. He said, well, there's, hold on a second. Sometimes my husband can get real anxiety ridden. And so he was going through one of those phases where he was just high anxiety. And Hal said, go in and tell him, don't be fear's bitch. I started to laugh. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so funny. That is the funniest thing I've heard in months, because it's so true. And when you think about it, that's exactly what we're doing when we fall prey to that. So I told my husband, and he kind of laughed, and he thought it was funny. And it did help him. And I think it can help all of us. That meme is up there. You can print it off and, put it on your computer or on your wall to just help you kind of laugh when you get into that fear frequency mode. It's like, no, I'm not gonna be fear's bitch. No, I'm gonna like totally pull out of that, and fear, you're gonna be my bitch. I'm gonna, you can go scare other Dark Lords or something. That's what you're gonna do. It's like, we've got to turn the tables on these. We've got to, it's kind of like really getting into the art of war. And, we're in a battle here. We're in war times, and we can't just, sit back and, hope that everything gets better. We've got to see exactly what's going on and participate willfully and get our magic going. We've got all this magic inside of us, and it's just dormant, or it's getting stolen by the Dark Lords, and they're using it. So we got to take our power back and say, no, I'm not going to be fierce bitch anymore. I'm going to get my mojo on, and I'm going to start really remembering who I am and emanating that and changing this hologram. I don't need to be a part of the agenda to take us all down. And that's what many of you who are listening to this came to this planet to do, is to not, go down the ditch with everybody else. We're going to stand up and find a way to really clean up this mess. And we can do that and bring it back to its pristine state. I just know we can. That's why we're here. If we didn't think we could do it, we wouldn't be here. Okay? Just saying. Okay?
You've already proven that a lot has been done already.
A lot. We have done a lot, and it's getting better every day. It really is. If you look, you can really see improvements everywhere, and we need to keep looking at those improvements for being, a pat on the back that yeah, we are standing together, and we are making a difference here. So it's just really important to take honest evaluation of that and go, no, they're not winning. They might think they are, they might hope they are, but they've got hopium that they are, but they're not. So yeah. And so when,
in the meantime, though,
yeah, go
we
ahead.
are being attacked.
Yes.
In the meantime, I mean, it's a meantime.
Yes.
That's getting better. We have, Lorley has put together a psychic genetic kit. We have the short one for, the emergency bulleted thing to do right now, and a long one that has all kinds of things, like even recipes for bath salts and things like that, list of our allies. But there's a medium-sized one, called Brief, that we'd like to present today, and to know that it'll be posted, so you don't have to, take notes like a banshee on it.
Right.
Yeah. So, do you want to
Okay.
start on
Yeah.
that, or
Yeah.
do you have more about the Dark Lord?
No, I got this here, and I've got the first aid kit right here in front of me. One thing is that a lot of the things that have been plaguing us are actually parasites. And so some of the things that I use for parasites, and it's really helped me, is oil of oregano capsules. If you get the drops, it's really, really hot, and I've choked on it before, so I prefer the capsules. Black walnut, wormwood, grapefruit seed extract, cloves, cayenne pepper, colloidal silver, and of course aurora water that you program, like with your pendant or your rock, to get rid of parasites. Now it's important.
Lorley, I don't mean to interrupt. I think there are some listeners that don't know what the rocks are. You want to take a moment, since it's so important, to talk about the rocks?
The rocks,
right now,
yes. What we can, the rocks are, because I'll just give the brief. When you read the book, it's all in there. But the rocks are the stone of truth and justice, and they're not from this world. They're not even from this hologram. They're from outside the hologram, and they're here on a service mission to help all of those who are trying to clean up this mess. Everybody on the cosmic cleanup crew. So you can find those on my website. There will be a link here for those, and we could have like 2 or 3 shows just on the rocks. So that's just the rocks in a in a nutshell. So with the parasites, many of them take 90 days to get rid of them, and so because they lay eggs, and so it takes 90 days to get rid of the parasites, and then their eggs, and then their larvae. So you need to keep it up for 90 days when you're on these remedies for parasites. And then another thing is that for those of you that know how to scan or do muscle testing for parasites, you have to scan in the past. You can't say, oh, do you have parasites? Because they'll go dormant, and you'll be scanning or testing that there aren't any. But if you go back a week or 3 days and say, did you have them 3 days ago or a week ago? And then, boop, there they are. So it's really important to know that the little buggers can go dormant so that you can't test them. They're smart little things. I learned this back in, it was like the mid-'80s when I first started getting into muscle testing and stuff like that. And I, through trial and error, found out that they could go dormant. So just be aware that they can do that. Okay, and now one of the important things is to consciously breathe. I mean, we forget to breathe. I know I do that. Sometimes I'll be sitting at my computer and all of a sudden I'm like barely breathing, or I'm like, what's the matter with me? And so I have to stop and breathe. And it's funny because when Amika was alive, she was in an MK Ultra program, and one of the things that she would do is just not breathe. And I'd say, Amika, breathe. And she'd go, oh, okay, thanks. I forget to breathe. I just stop breathing. And so I think it's a pretty common thing that, remember to breathe. It seems so normal, but when you're especially caught in a lot of anxiety and stuff, your breathing gets shallow, and it's hard to think when you don't have any oxygen in your brain. So that's number one. Then number 2 is using different modalities in the badass egg, and that's on page 33 in cryogenetics. And one thing that we found recently is that you have to remember to always specify the original authentic cryogenetics badass Ultima 17 egg, because we found that there's imposters out there, but if you say original, authentic, that's not them, and they can't imposter that. So that was like a real eye-opener. You can use your rocks or your pendant to make LR5 water. That's called Love Resonance number 5 water. And you can charge your intentions in the water. And it's important, when you start working with that you do a water taste test, because it really does taste different than just like normal water. It's thicker and it's like a little bit sweeter. It just has a different taste and texture. So that's something fun to do. So then the next one is find out the origins of the psychic attack. You need to find out who, what, when, how, where, and why. It's like, how did it all? You have to really dissect it and get down to the bottom line to find. You don't just go, who is it? You need to get in there and dig. Another thing to do is, what was that? Did you have a question? You didn't have a question? It sounded like you were questioning. Okay. So then the next thing is, on the list is to do a drop the tissue protocol, and that is in the book. And what you do is put all of your anxiety into a tissue, whether it's anger or fear or whatever it is, and you just wad it up and you just get it all in there. And when you've got all in this Kleenex, then you take a deep breath and you get a trash can, and you take a deep breath and you actually let it go. You say, and I let go of this crap, and open up your fingers and let it drop into the trash can. And it's amazing what it does to get rid of stress. Just amazing. Or if someone or something is bothering you and you just like get it all out and just let it go. It's amazing. And that is taught in the Knight's Training course too. Then, of course, there's the Screw You Loser, Up Yours Loser protocol, done with passion. And you need to go into cryogenetics. There's a whole chapter on that. But it's kind of got a funny thing. The story behind it is really funny. And this works like I've never had it not work. Have you, Nancy? Have you ever said "screw you, loser" to some asshole that was on your tail and it didn't help you feel better?
Sometimes you have to do it quite a bit. So
yeah, you might have to do it 5 minutes later, right? It'll come back, but its friends will come back or whatever. But yeah, so and that's really important. And then one of the modalities in the badass egg is the sickle mode, and what it does is, when you're in your egg, you ask it to go in sickle mode, and it puts the sickle that goes around the entire egg and cuts off and clips off any attachments that are hanging on you. If somebody's got their hooks in you, this definitely will help cut those off. And then, of course, you always do your breathing after, and fill in the holes. Anytime you get rid of something, you want to fill up the holes. And so you do breathing with the figure eight racetrack that goes from your heart to your head to your heart to your loins in a figure eight. And that will help fill in the holes with your authentic, magnificent, benevolent energy. Okay, then call in the ITBs. These are little bees that came from outside the hologram that were kind of causing some issues there. So they were brought in here so that they could feel more comfortable, because they are IT tech and they're here to eat IT, bad IT. And it's explained in cryogenetics too. So if you want more information, check in that.
So what is IT? What does that stand for?
It stands for either internet technology or like AI, artificial intelligence. So it's kind of a combination of both. And then recently we found out about anxiety makers. Those were, again, came from hospitals. And the ITBs can, if you feel like you are in an anxiety mode that you can't get out of, call in the ITBs to help clean that out too. Hold on, I gotta get some water. I'm getting real thirsty talking about this stuff. Hold on. And one of the things that we found, some people independently, is that the egg can, I found this, and then my Ghostbuster partner Ronnie found it at the same time, independently, but sometimes we'd put a ghost that had been really traumatized, and the egg went into this automatic, really soft, gentle rocking motion, and it calmed them down so that they could stabilize enough so that the rocks could then sort things out and take them where they needed to go. And Ronnie found the same thing about the same time, independent of me, that she put a ghost in there and it started rocking them. And so we found out too that we can ask our own eggs that we put around us to rock us, and it really does calm you down. And that's something you'll just have to try. It's hard to explain until you try it.
It's interesting to have a rocking egg, because the egg is the spiritual part of the Aulmauracite rock.
Yes.
Makes
it does make sense. So
That's
it's
one, by the way, that I use a lot.
well, and it does help. It's like, you get in there with your suma and you just let it rock you, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. I'm getting stable, and it brings you to balance really fast, which I think we all need to get into balance several times a day with all the crazy that's going on. Um, Another thing is to access more of your purity quotient and consciously um, eating foods that are high vibration is really important here, and there's a whole chapter on that. And I think we'll have a whole show on that one time, Nancy, because I think it's really important. So we'll go into that more in detail on that one. Another thing is to help you get strong again is to think of the times that you got through even tougher situations. So when you think, oh man, everything just sucks so bad, it's like, okay, now I remember like a year ago, things were way worse than they are now, so I can get through this. And it's just to, give you a pat on the back and a little kick in the pants to get you moving again. And it's important to, every once in a while, in cryogenetics too, it talked about good grief and crying, and how crying can be useful because it cleans out your tear ducts and things. So if you need a good cry, go ahead and do it. Now, if you think you have to cry 2 or 3 times a day, then I think that's overdoing it. But a good cry here and there to get your emotions out, I think is really important. Like I said, as long as you don't like make a habit of it. Then another thing that we've been doing with our hologram rescue team group is keep reminding ourselves that every time we have one of these bad, nasty things on us, is that when we get through it, we got immunities to it. And I got immunities to cryptos that I didn't think I ever, I just thought, oh no, here comes another attack. What am I going to do? And then after several of them, I realized that they weren't quite as bad as the one before. And then I realized I was getting immunities to them. And now when any of these cryptos are stupid enough to try to attack me, and I start feeling it come on, instead of going, oh shoot, here it is again, I just go, screw you losers, up yours losers, I'm not buying it, you have it. If you be sick, you feel like you want to throw up, you get dizzy, you get out of balance in your head, you can't think, all that can happen to you here, and wad it up and encase them in it. It's like, yeah, you have it. If you like it so much, you have it. And that may sound kind of, I know the New Age thing says, if something attacks you and then you go back, and throw it back, that you're just playing badminton. Well, maybe that can happen, but if you send things back with purpose, like one of the things that we've been doing too is packaging all this stuff up, putting a bow on it, giving it to Lady Karma and Lady Justice, and let them go redistribute it. So if you get something horrible happening to you that a psychic attack, go, okay, well, I don't need to keep this. I can package it up, give it to Lady Karma and Lady Justice, and it's all good. Let them figure out who needs to have this. And
well, after all, it's not part of our authentic self, and it came from them. It belongs to them. So what the hell?
Exactly. I feel the same way.
Return to sender.
Yeah, and then lock and seal it so that they can't flip it back. See, and by getting immunities, I know that there's a lot of things that are flung on me that I don't even feel anymore. Sometimes I go, okay, there's something around. And like 3 years ago, it would have like really brought me down real bad. And now it's just like a minor irritation because I've got immunities to it. And so really look at immunities as being a something that you can get. It's like, okay, this experience is not all for nothing. I'm going to get immunities from this. And by George, this ain't going to happen again. So it's having that attitude.
Right. It's so similar to what happens to us physically if we get a cold.
Exactly.
We're not going to get that thing cold.
That's exactly
thousands of them,
right.
but we're not going to get that one again.
Then another thing on the list is listen to soothing music or upbeat music, or sing to yourself. I mean, I go out and I sing to the chickens in the morning, and I don't know if they like it. Maybe they appreciate it, but
How can you tell if they like it or
yeah, I don't know. They look at me like, okay, here she comes. She's gonna feed us, so it's all good. No, I think they do like it. I think it perks them up because I sing the hi ho, it's off to work we go song when I go out there, and then the roosters start crowing and everybody starts perking. I think they appreciate it. So remember to sing. That definitely is an exercise, and dance. Just get moving and you got to make yourself happy. Okay, nobody's gonna make you happy. You got to do it yourself. And
do you want to mention gratitude?
oh yes. And again, there's a whole chapter on this, but happiness and gratitude are two different things, and well, it's okay. Gratitude is the combination between happy and grateful, and when you put the two of them together, it's like stronger and tougher and better, and you just have to read the chapter, okay? Because it kind of takes a long time, and we're about out of time. My phone's going to die in a few minutes, so I want to get through these last.
My lights in my room are flickering on and off.
Are they? Oh, God.
Gee, I wonder what that means.
Yeah, I wonder what that means. It means we're almost done. Okay, and then diffusing or wearing essential oils. I love that. I love doing that, and that there's, there you go again. The smell is part of cryogenetics, and then smile and laugh. And if you need something to laugh about, in my newsletter, I always have these funny memes at the end of the newsletter. So maybe go through some of those, watch a funny movie, and laugh like hell.
Right. Wow. So as we were talking, I was writing future shows. I've got about 8. I have
8
one
future shows.
Djinn, Tethers, the rocks and the symbols. Then one we didn't talk about, well, you mentioned, but as a triad, Soma, Avatar, and Premium Self. And then Purity Quotient you mentioned. And so we have a lot to stay tuned with, folks.
We do.
And every time you're going to see constantly incoming successes.
Well, and what we're going to try to do is put these out at least weekly. We might be able to do them bi-weekly, but we're going to try to get them out at least once a week. We'll see how long it takes to get this one out. And I'm just really glad that we got this far.
Yeah, I think it is time to end because your voice just got goingy.
Yeah, my voice is getting twangy. Oh, and there goes my phone. It says you're done.
There goes my light. So this might be there go I.
So
for now.
Okay, so everybody,
everyone,
hang in there. We're doing good jobs, and we will see you very soon, hopefully in a week. Okay, bye-bye.